We do like to keep our finger on the pulse across this region in the capital area, and it's best when you tell me directly what's going on and the issues that are affecting your region and whatever those pressures might be. So it's with pleasure we say hello to Vikas Sharma. He is a broadcaster, a producer, who runs a community radio show called ACT Desi. And we'll be catching up with Vikas quite a bit through this year in 2022. Vikas Sharma, what a pleasure to catch up. And thanks for being with us on ABC Radio Canberra Mornings.
Morning, Adam. How are you?
You've got quite a few strings to your bow. First of all, tell us what it is you're passionate about and why you do it.
Well, I'm really passionate about communication. I really like interacting with people. I like communication in the sense of, spreading the word, which might benefit people, which might help someone. And it's in a way you can creatively engage with people because there's so much noise and there's so much clutter outside. How can you, put the right thing to right people so that they can be benefited? So That's really my passion, actually, if you can summarize in that sense.
And representing maybe what their views might be if we don't hear them. You run a program called ACT Desi. It's a community radio program. Tell us about what it is and what sort of things you touch on.
Right. So ACT Desi is like a community platform, really. It's not really only a radio show, but it comes on 2XX every Friday, 8:30 p.m. And I do have a Facebook page because, nowadays people are there on social media and then they like to consume more of audiovisual content than just audio content. So it becomes even more responsibility for myself to, put all those things that I'm putting the efforts in getting what the community is feeling, what are they celebrating, what are their concerns, getting people who are silent winners or maybe suffering in silence to get on the platform so that they have a platform to talk about it and then, celebrating their wins. So this has been happening since 2019, July when I started it, and it's going to be 3 years this year of, hosting the show.
Vikas, what a time to begin it just before COVID really took its grip here in the capital region. How vital has it been for many of those Canberrans who otherwise might not have had a chance to express what they're going through? What sort of things have come through the ACT Desi platforms?
Oh, you talk about anything and everything because it was like my personal journey because I've migrated to Canberra, Australia in 2019 itself. And then I started this show because that I thought that's the way to connect with the community. And in my wildest of imagination, I didn't think that bushfires and then followed by COVID, which is still going on, that would happen. So talk about things of, having problems finding accommodation to, anxieties, to mental stress, to, people, getting offloaded from their jobs, insecurity, all those things that I have faced myself. I've tried to put them up and then, in a way that people are drawing out some kind of, resilience out of it, not really highlighting and, more impacts of those things. So
just so they don't feel alone, perhaps, as well, Vikas,
yes,
that
exactly.
They know this is a shared experience across some parts of Canberra.
Right. And then there have been people, who have been here for like 20 years, 30 years, and then they talk about their experiences so that people who listen to the show, draw some kind of inspiration that they too have suffered, a lot of adversities and to come out of it and then, celebrate life in itself. So that kind of interactivity, as I said, communicating, people who might not be out in the community talking like, there can be few leaders who can talk about it, but then in general, the people who are, here, who may be helping some couple of people in their own time, but they don't highlight it enough. How has their experience been living here in Canberra, and what are their concerns? So these are the things that I try to bring out through ACT Desi, and obviously, I don't like to keep the program too formal.
Sure.
That's the way I've tried to keep it. So I put it like more of a personalized touch to it, then put some Indian music of different languages, not just Hindi and Punjabi, but then they're like Tamil, Telugu. On time to time, I try to create, awareness about different languages and cultures.
just to be more approachable and, as we talk about, make people realise they're a part of it here in the capital region. Vikas Sharma is our guest. He's a consultant, a producer of and host of ACT Desi. Adam, Shirley with you on ABC Radio Canberra 19 to 10. Just on one particular issue, as we start to reopen again, it feels like the sequel, Vikas, from a lockdown or restricted period. There have been festivals with mass gatherings now. There have been people mingling and enjoying time together over the last couple of weekends. Tell me about first of all, the restrictions on some of the events you know about, dancing, socialising, and how that's starting to look now in the last couple of weeks.
Right, so it's always good, right? Nobody likes to be in restriction, right, Adam? Everyone likes to be open to be able to communicate and freely do things. So obviously it's a welcome move for businesses and community in a broader sense, because I've felt many a times when you go out and you suddenly realize that you forgot your mask at home, and then what do? It's kind of anxiety in itself. But
I've caught myself walking in circles to the driver's door of my car in that very situation, Vikas.
It's with everyone. So, imagine people have gotten used to this thing, and then still it's not part of our life because it's restriction, and restrictions are imposed. It's not really people follow on their own. So yes, obviously to your question, India is all about festivals. 365 days there are multiple festivals every day, if you call it. There have been restriction, people in a capacity of 100, maybe sitting 40 people. So the lifting of restrictions has come in good time, because the time is now coming in terms of celebration of events like Holi, which is a very big festival people celebrate, and Holi is about color, it's about food. And recently the Queen Bian Multicultural Festival happened. I'm sure I wasn't there personally, but I've gotten people talking about it. I've saw some footage over social media. People are enjoying, people are open, and it's...
And is there relief, Vikas? Is there relief tinged with that enjoyment?
It is, and imagine, decking up all yourself and then putting a mask on, and then removing it to eat food and putting it back on. So it's like an exercise. It's a relief for businesses as well, because I'm not really sure how much percentage of it, but most of the businesses are there, in cleaning, in food business, in hospitality. When people from India and Indian origin are engaged in. Obviously, there are others as well. But all these places where you serve Indian food and at restaurant, people are passing by the time by just delivering food, on those times when there were restrictions. So easing up of restriction, people can freely come, eat, enjoy their food. And then there's a Holi festival, as I said, which is coming up on 19th March. There is one event which is happening in Glebe Park, which was cancelled last year at the last moment because restrictions were coming in. So hopefully people will enjoy. People are opening up to the fact that, all that pent up energy and, thing which we want to dish out and, spread cheer and celebration in the community. I think that will be something which we're really looking forward to.
Really looking forward to hearing more from you through this year, Vikas. And for that early perspective, we are grateful. Take care and all the very best.
Thank you so much, Adam, for your time.
Vikas Sharma, a producer, consultant, host of ACT Desi, a community radio program on ABC Radio Canberra. 9:45. Great to be with you. However you're listening today on DAB Plus Radio, on the Listen app, which is a beauty on your smartphone if you don't have it, 666 on the AM band, and abc.net.au/Canberra.